Okay, so bit of a dilemma. Obviously, we have to wear a face mask when we go out, but I refuse to have a perfectly good outfit ruined by like an ugly surgical mask. So I have been making myself these cute little easy face masks with scrunchies on the side for the ears, but you've probably noticed that a lot of brands have been making really aesthetic, beautiful face masks. In particular, the brand Lirika Matoshi, New York, they've been making some really cute ones that sort of correspond with their designs. So their clothes are very fun and whimsical, sort of dreamy with lots of tulle. And I'm sure you're familiar with the strawberry dress. And I have to say the strawberry dress because it is all over Instagram. It's even on TikTok. It's a stunning, stunning dress. And so the brand has actually made a really cute strawberry face mask that you can wear with the dress. So they're selling them on their website for $50, which for a face mask, that's a little extra. But you know what? They're making them, that's what they're selling them for. They're perfectly entitled to sell them for what they want to sell them for. But then the other issue with their masks is they have a 4-week wait time on them. So if you order it now, you're not even gonna get it for another month, which for a face mask, like you kind of need it now. So for today's video, I have decided to DIY my own sort of Lirika Matoshi inspired face masks. So the two masks that I'm getting inspiration from are the strawberry mask, of course, and then this really, really beautiful rainbow tulle mask. Now for the strawberry face mask, I actually don't have strawberry fabric. You can buy this from Etsy or a version of the fabric from Etsy, but I don't really have the time or the energy to do that. So I ended up finding this fabric, which totally has the vibe. So it is black tulle with cute little watermelon sequins on it. It's different than the strawberries, but it totally has that same cute, kitschy vibe to it. And I've just got a black cotton to go underneath that, and that is gonna look adorable. Only thing with the watermelons is on the actual fabric, they're quite spaced out, which I didn't really think about when I was at the store. So what I'm gonna have to do is sort of pleat it and gather it so that the watermelons sit close together on the face mask. And then for the rainbow one, I found this adorable rainbow tulle. So this one is definitely more pastel than the original mask, but I actually kind of like that. I am definitely like a pastel rainbow person instead of a bright rainbow person. And then mine also has these really cute like shimmery bits in it, which I don't think the original mask has, so that'll give me a little bit more sparkle. The masks that I've been making are a different design than the Lirika Matoshi ones. There's sort of two versions of the face mask. There is when you have a rectangle and then you sort of pleat it, and then you have the mask which is sort of like a beak. They remind me of a beak. The Lirika Matoshi ones are sort of that beak style, which I have made one of those, so that is also going to be interesting. I've just found a pattern for that on Google image search, and the one that I found is good because it actually shows the measurements. Because what I do to get the pattern is I literally just put it on my iPad, turn the brightness up, and then put a sheet of baking paper over the top, trace it, and then that will be my pattern piece. And because it actually has the measurements on the pattern, that'll make it easy for me to size it on my iPad for when I trace it. Now another thing that I might differ a little bit from the Lirika Matoshi mask is the actual ties. I've gone for elastic on the side of my masks, but I've sort of made them into little scrunchies, and that is super cute. You can't put too much fabric on the scrunchie because otherwise it'll sort of bunch behind your ears and push your ears out, but it's actually very, very comfortable. So I've done this with my masks, but that might be uncomfortable considering I'm using tulle, because that might get scratchy behind the ears. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna go with the tulle ties like the original masks or sort of do a scrunchie. I feel like the rainbow one will probably end up being ties, and then the watermelon one, I might make the scrunchie but just out of the black lining material, but we'll see how we go. Okay, I just went ahead and tacked down the sides. Sorry about this light, it's a bit hard to see, but I have tacked down the sides, but then obviously, when I cut the pattern piece out, it's not tacked down here, so it's just gonna all come undone. So what I think I need to do is just do some tacks roughly around where I'm gonna cut it out. So that way when I cut it out, it won't all like fall apart. But the tulle actually was like way easier to sew than I thought it would be. I don't know why I had in my head that it was gonna be like really difficult to work with. I also just realized that, say if the point is here and there's gonna be a pleat down there, I kind of have to match it up roughly with the other side because it might look weird if the pleats aren't matching on both sides of the mask. So I'm going to attempt to do that. We'll see how well that works. Alrighty, I have gone ahead and made my little tacks. You can't really see them, there's one, but that's the idea, you're not supposed to. Now it's time to cut it out, which is scary. So I need to cut 2 out of the watermelon, and then I'm going to cut 4 out of the black, because on each side I need 1 piece to go under the watermelon, and then I need another piece to be the lining. So 2 of the watermelons and 4 of the black. Alrighty, so I have my 6 pieces cut out. These are going to go over here, and the black fabric is more like what the actual size is. I did cut the watermelons slightly larger because now I'm actually going to tack down the watermelons onto this black fabric so that they stay. And then after that, I really need to figure out what I'm doing with the ties. Like, am I making the scrunchies? Because I do have more black fabric and that could look cute as little scrunchies. I do have heaps more watermelon, so I could make ties out of that, but I just feel with this sequin, like even if they are ties that don't go around your ear, they still might be quite uncomfortable and scratchy. I'm leaning towards doing a little scrunchie for this one because I do have heaps of black fabric to make the little scrunchy ties. I've gone ahead and sewn with right sides together these 2 halves. The pleats kind of line up pretty well, like up here. The only thing I didn't account for is obviously there's gonna be like half of a little watermelon just there like that, which looks a little dumb. I kind of knew I was gonna make a mistake somewhere. So what I'm gonna do now is create the scrunchie because I wanna sew it in here to the mask before I put the lining in. I got 2 pieces of elastic. These are both 6 3/4 inches. And then I've just used what I can out of the scrap of the lining material. I think this is about 9 inches long. So putting these together, I will sew along here, then turn it inside out, then feed the elastic through and tack it at the ends. And then what I'll do is I will attach it to the side of the face mask on either side. Alrighty, so I have attached my little scrunchy ties to the edge of my mask and the 6 3/4 inch elastic in the 9 inch tubing works perfectly because you want the look of a scrunchie, but you don't want it to be bunching up too much fabric behind the ears. What I need to do now is right sides together, make sure the scrunchie is flipped in, and when I pin this, make sure that I'm not sewing over the scrunchie, and put these right sides together, and I will sew along here, and so then once after I've put the right sides together, I will have to leave one of these sides open so that I can, pull it through on itself, so it'll be the right side out. So then what I'll do after that is just finish off the seam, and I'll probably do a top stitch on the other side as well so that it looks a bit symmetrical. There is these little sequins now everywhere because when I was cutting the watermelon, they were just spraying everywhere. These are gonna be a nightmare. Alright, here is the watermelon mask complete. The top stitching on both sides turned out so well and it looks so cute. So I'm going to give this a try on at the end of the video once I've completed both masks. Okay, now moving on to the rainbow one. This is going to be pretty similar to the watermelon one in terms of assembly, but I am going to be gathering the tulle a little bit differently. So this is going to be the side of the mask here. I'll definitely obviously tack this down here, but I should also sort of fan this out where I want this to sit in the center of the mask and tack that as well. I am going to tack down a tulle layer of where I want it to sit, then I will tack it down again to the outer layer of white, and then I will assemble the mask. So I've got this over the top. As you can see, there's like a lot of excess fabric, but that is going to get trimmed off. Right now, my main concern is making sure when I pin this and then sew it, and that when the face masks meet, that the colors are going to match up and run into each other. I'm going to try my hardest to do that. I've got these matched up pretty well. Now there's glitter everywhere. Like first there was sequins everywhere, now there's glitter. Oh my God. I'm gonna be finding glitter everywhere for the next like 3 months. That seems like it's going to match up pretty well, fingers crossed. It might not be 100% perfect, but I think it's gonna be pretty close. It looks like it's going to match up fairly well along the mask. I also need to make the ties. The Lirika Matoshi ones, they're quite long and you're supposed to tie them behind your ears and sort of let them hang down. It's like a look. Alright, so I've done up my little ties. They're looking very cute. So now it's just the same as before. I need to tack them down on either side, and when I go and put right sides together and sew along here, I need to be really careful that I don't accidentally sew on the straps. So I need to like bunch them there so they don't move around, so I don't accidentally sew over the top of them. So yeah, just same as before, right sides together, sew along here, leave the side open so I can turn her inside out, and then I will top stitch along here. And that is the rainbow mask done. So here are the completed masks, and I love how they have turned out. They definitely have the feel of Lirika Matoshi, but of course I've got the pastel rainbow, and then I've also got my little watermelons instead of the strawberries, so they're still my little creation. And I like that I have the scrunchies here on the ears on the watermelon, but the ties on the rainbow one, it actually did end up so cute. In the photos on Lirika Matoshi's Instagram, they sort of tie the ties in a bow behind the ear and let it sort of fall down, and it is really, really cute. The one bummer is that I did mess up with this little half watermelon here. I do have more watermelon fabric, so I could remake it, but also can I be bothered? No. And then I tried super hard with trying to match up the colors on the rainbow mask. It is a little bit off, but to be honest, it's not that big of a deal. And also I forgot to clarify at the beginning of this video, the original Lirika Matoshi masks and also my masks, they're not going to be fully protective against COVID. I believe you have to have 3 layers of fabric, and obviously one of these is like a mesh tulle, so that's not going to do much. And also like they are just kind of decorative to go over the top of a surgical mask, so that is what I'm going to do. So yes, I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, let's quickly do a little price comparison. My little DIY masks versus the original Lirika Matoshi masks. So as I mentioned at the start of the video, those masks are $50 $4. Now for my masks, the watermelon tulle was $2 and the lining was $1.60. And for this rainbow tulle, it was about $4.60 and then $1.60 for the lining. So we'll just average that out at about $5 a mask. And that is not including things that I already own, like thread and that kind of thing. So I'll just add 50 cents each onto that. It's also not including my time, but that brings each mask to around $5.50, give or take, compared to the $50 that Lirika Matoshi are selling their masks for. There you go. Those are my DIY Lirika Matoshi inspired masks. While you're here, I make lots of fun fashion and lifestyle content. I make 2 videos a week here on YouTube. So if you like videos like this, please hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell down below so you don't miss any of my videos. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Oh no, I gave my heart away.